Hello and welcome to G Fun Facts Online. Today, we're digging into a story that's part archaeology, part chemistry, and part microbiology. In the sands of Egypt, a discovery was made that wasn't a golden mask or a precious jewel, but something far more personal, a 200-year-old piece of cheese. And this ancient dairy product held a dark and dangerous secret. Our story begins in Saqqara, the vast city of the dead just south of modern Cairo. For thousands of years, it was the final resting place for Egyptian royalty and elites. In 2010, a team of archaeologists from Cairo University, led by Professor Ola El-Aguizi, set out to find a tomb that had been lost to history. The tomb belonged to a powerful official named Pendamis. It was first breached by treasure hunters back in 1885, but its location was never properly recorded, and the desert sands swallowed it once more. Using old 19th century maps, Professor El-Aguizi's team painstakingly relocated the lost structure. It was massive, over 70 meters long, a clear sign of its owner's importance. As they excavated between 2013 and 2014, they found a collection of broken jars. Inside one of them was a solidified whitish mass, carefully wrapped in canvas fabric. This humble, mysterious lump was about to become an archaeological superstar. So who was this man, Pendamis, important enough to have such a grand tomb and a special funerary snack? Inscriptions tell us he was a top-tier official during the 19th dynasty, serving under the legendary Pharaoh Seti I and his son, Ramesses the Great. Pendamis wasn't just some bureaucrat. He held multiple powerful titles. He was the mayor of Memphis, which was the administrative and military heart of the Egyptian Empire. He was also the chief of the army and the overseer of the treasury. This put him at the absolute peak of the government, a man of immense power, wealth, and trust. His tomb was a statement of that power, meant to last for eternity. And that brings us to why there was cheese in his tomb in the first place. For ancient Egyptians, death wasn't an end, it was a transition. Your tomb was your eternal home, and you needed to pack for the trip. This is why we find grave goods, furniture, tools, clothing, and especially food. Bread and beer were the staples, but elites like Pendamis got a luxury menu. Joints of beef, fattened geese, wine, and prized items like cheese. Transforming perishable milk into a solid, preservable cheese made it the perfect food for eternity. A product of human ingenuity, designed to defy decay, just like mummification itself. The archaeologists knew the white mass was important, but what was it? To find out, they sent a sample to a team of specialists in Italy, led by Dr. Enrico Greco. The ancient food was about to meet 21st century technology. The field is called paleoproteomics, or molecular archaeology. Instead of DNA, scientists look for proteins, which are more abundant and can survive for much longer. They used a powerful technique called liquid chromatography mass spectrometry. Think of it as a molecular detective agency. First, the liquid chromatography step separates all the different molecules in the sample, like sorting suspects in a lineup. Then, the mass spectrometry step weighs each individual molecule with incredible precision. This gives each molecule a unique mass fingerprint. By comparing these fingerprints to a massive database of known proteins, the scientists could identify exactly what was in the sample. The results were stunning. The mass spectrometer detected peptides, the building blocks of proteins from casein and whey. These are the definitive markers of a dairy product. It was, without a doubt, cheese. But it got even better. By analyzing specific variations in those proteins, they could tell which animals the milk came from. This wasn't just cow's milk cheese. It was a sophisticated blend made from cow's milk mixed with either sheep's or goat's milk. This is the oldest solid cheese ever discovered and positively identified using this kind of modern science. So what was it like? Experts believe it was made through simple acidification, where milk is left to curdle naturally. The canvas fabric found with it was likely used as a cheesecloth to drain the whey and press the curds. The final product would have been soft, moist, and spreadable, something like a modern goat cheese or chèvre. Its flavor? Probably very tangy and acidic. It was a fresh product, meant to be eaten quickly, which makes its preservation in a tomb even more significant. But the story takes a dark turn here. As the scientists sifted through all the protein data, they found something else. They found protein signatures that didn't belong to milk or any human contamination from the excavation. These proteins belong to a bacterium, Brucella melitensis. This is not a friendly microbe used in fermentation. Brucella melitensis is a dangerous pathogen that causes a severe disease called brucellosis, also known as Malta fever. It's a nasty illness, causing waves of fever, agonizing muscle pain, arthritis, and fatigue. If untreated, it can become chronic and even be fatal. And how do humans get it? The most common way is by consuming unpasteurized dairy products from infected animals, especially goats and sheep. The cheese intended to nourish Ptolemies in the afterlife was dangerously contaminated. This discovery was a bombshell. It represents the earliest direct biomolecular evidence of brucellosis ever found, proving this disease plagued the people of ancient Egypt over 200 years ago. This sinister finding gives us a grim but fascinating window into the reality of daily life in New Kingdom Egypt. The Egyptians lived in very close contact with their animals. Cattle, sheep, and goats were vital to their economy and survival. But this close relationship was a perfect pathway for zoonotic diseases, illnesses that jump from animals to humans. The discovery of brucellosis in the cheese confirms this danger was very real. While they had no concept of germ theory, they surely knew the consequences of eating tainted food. This adds a crucial piece to our understanding of ancient health. Studies of mummies have already shown evidence of diseases like malaria and schistosomiasis. Now, we can add brucellosis to the list of invisible threats the ancient Egyptians faced every day. The cheese isn't just a record of a recipe. It's a microscopic ghost, a paleopathological artifact, preserving evidence of a disease that afflicted both the people and the animals of pharaonic Egypt. But let's not forget the spiritual side of this story. To the ancient Egyptians, milk was much more than just food. It was a potent symbol of life, nourishment, and divine power, all tied to the beloved goddess Hathor. Often depicted as a celestial cow, Hathor was the ultimate mother goddess. Her divine milk was a life-giving elixir. Temple reliefs even show pharaohs suckling from her in her cow form, a ritual that confirmed their divine right to rule. In the afterlife, Hathor was believed to nurture the souls of the dead, offering them her milk to rejuvenate them for their eternal rebirth. So placing cheese, a concentrated preserved form of this divine substance, in Thomas' tomb was a deeply meaningful act. It wasn't just a packed lunch. It was a powerful prayer. It was a way to ensure that the life-giving properties of divine milk would be available to Thomas on his journey through the underworld. So, this solidified white mass from a broken jar in a lost tomb is so much more than it appears. On one level, it's the world's oldest scientifically identified solid cheese, giving us a taste of the ancient Egyptian diet and technology. It's also the key that unlocked the story of Ptolemies, a forgotten giant of the Ramesside age. On a microscopic level, it's a triumph of modern science, showing how we can read history from the very molecules of ancient food. And finally, it's a cautionary tale. It carries a warning from the past about the constant, invisible threat of disease in a world without pasteurization. The Pharaoh's cheese is a rich, complex artifact that connects us to the diet, health, technology, and beliefs of the ancient world. It proves, once again, that sometimes the most profound secrets are hidden in the most ordinary of things. Thank you for joining us on Fun Facts Online.